Hey guys, welcome to Tim's video series that we're going to interview Tim on today. So, Tim, why don't you explain a little bit? You're the partner and CEO of Luminus. Why don't you explain a little bit what you do there, I guess, other than own it?
Yeah, I yes, one of the two owners, so 50% partner and CEO. Basically, that means I have to do all the boring stuff that's administrative and paperwork and forms and all the stuff that you guys don't have to deal with, so you can do fun creative things. So, run the company and put all the puzzle pieces together.
Always something going on for you every day.
Always something. It's strange to start your day with no plans and then always have something to do
Yeah.
for six to eight
Then feel
hours.
like sometimes you just never have enough time in the day.
Yep.
So, why don't you tell us a little bit about your favorite project that you've worked on?
So my favorite project is very recent. We just launched it in July of 2020. It's for Druthers Brewing Company. We did a rebrand update for them and a new creative push. We've been working with them for 8 years, so it was pretty cool to be able to take this step with them. But that's the one that I'm going to talk about.
Great. So, why don't you tell us a little bit more about the project and any challenges that you might have kind of adhered through?
Yeah, it started small. It started with a packaging
Hmm.
need. They, they originally had some labels done 4 or 5 years ago. They had bottles. The owner, Chris, was like, I really want to do some new updated design work. Let's start with the labels. And we dove into the labels and we just kind of started going down a path where we realized we were ahead of ourselves. So we pulled it back and kind of put the label project on the back burner, and we started actually working back through the brand identity instead to not reinvent it totally, but update it and refresh it to more meet like what their current vibe is, and kind of apply that into labels and a new website, merch, photography, styles, and then packaging, of course, is part of that. So
Awesome. Were there any challenges that we kind of that you saw come up throughout the project or the process?
yeah, initially with the first label uh, concept project that we had, we were running into resistance from the distribution
Hmm.
partners that were part of the decision making process, which led us back to doing the brand identity first so we can kind of work our way up. And it just so happened that really we had got a golden window. We were just about to finish the brand identity, working on the website, and they decided to switch from bottles to cans, which meant the distributors had to get new
Yeah.
packaging into their stores. So it was at that point the conversation was wide open, but it was great because we had just worked on all the brand identity stuff, so we could take that straight into new concepts for their can labels versus bottle labels.
So, what other big benefits do you think the clients would rather see off of this?
Um, first of all, they've always had a pretty good brand identity. It was done in 2012. We didn't do that piece. We've done multiple websites and merch design and things for them since, but it was never totally them,
Hmm.
if you will, them. So after being open for almost a decade now, they've kind of grown into what they want to be. So they never hated the identity before, but it just didn't feel like them. So we were able to help modify it so it felt more like their personality and their vibe, which is a bit rugged, a bit classic, has this like minimalistic, philosophical vibe
Yeah.
to it, but it's still very cool and trendy looking. But secondly, and probably most importantly, when it actually comes to those label designs, the initial hesitation from distribution was that they might not be recognized on the
Yeah.
shelves anymore. They get lost in a sea of new designs. Everything is so illustrative and colorful. And what actually happened was we launched a minimalistic white version of their
Hmm.
label with little color accents. And they used to sell 250 cases of beer in like 5 or 6 weeks, and since the cans have launched, they're selling them out in like 5 to 7 days instead. So there's actually a
Wow.
uh, tangible difference in their sales that they're seeing on the shelves just from the packaging side.
Yeah.
Internally on location, it's just nice to have more uniform like menus and pizza
Hmm.
boxes and all merch and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's quite a big sales increase. That's something that I think any client would be happy about.
Yeah, I mean, it just pays to have everything working together. Now they have a really clean design out in the public, and they have a clean design there, and everyone's sort of gravitating to it, and they're excited about it
Awesome.
now.
Any other general thoughts about the project that you want to talk about that you saw either internally with our team or externally with the client?
I think a good thing to point out about this project is that you really can use design to build a good culture around a brand. We like to throw around the term brand brag worthy
Hmm.
sometimes, which is to say that if you do the right design, you have the right messaging, and you're in front of the right people, they will promote the brand for you. And some of these things, when we launched that can design, people are just posting pictures like crazy on Instagram. Like they're out on lakes, they're
Yeah.
at home having barbecues, they're picking up cans at the Druthers locations and taking photos of the cans. And it just looks great on the site, having the can next to the beer so they know what's in distribution and what's not. And it just built like a different vibe around the brand. And I think they're getting more engagement and participation, and that builds up loyalty, which is long term, which is much better than short term sales, even though we're seeing an
Even though
improvement in that too with the labeling.
you're seeing the nice long term, you'll see the long term, and we've already saw the short term, so that's great.
Yep. Yeah, and that pays off tenfold. Just keeps happening.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, thanks for kind of taking a few minutes to speak out your project today. Appreciate it.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, it's nice to be on the other end of it every once in a while, not being the interviewer.